Next up, let's go to our
Make it
last
quick.
one on our buy or sell. Caleb, the NBA has recently upped their COVID protocols. I don't know if you saw, but 2 days ago, the NBA decided that before you check into a game, you have to be wearing a mask at all times on the bench. Now, what does that do? Nothing. It's all for optics. Because why do you need to wear a mask when you're on the bench, but you don't need to wear a mask when you're playing? It makes no sense. But again, optics, same thing. Now, here's where it gets tricky, right? Tier one and tier two NBA staff cannot go out anywhere in public without their mask, and even indoors they have to be wearing masks. So that's a little bit tricky. And masking, whatever I'm not saying about as far as the masking, I'm talking about the strict protocols on the masking. The NBA has already have protocols on where players can eat at certain restaurants, where they can go to. And now guess what they just added, Caleb? They have added sensor devices to players. So players and staff now when they leave will have a sensor device that will show you pretty much a GPS device where the player went. Caleb, buy or sell that these COVID protocols are becoming unjust for players.
What's next? Needing a license to make non-plan. But
we're not in the hell no segment.
Sorry. But I'm going to buy this. I think it's tough to really hold these players accountable for this kind of stuff. And plus, like, let's go out on a limb here and say that they do make them wear masks, right? The whole entire time in the arena. What difference does it make if you go out there and play? You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna transmit either way. And there's, to me, the idea of doing it is literally just for optics, saying like, hey, look, these guys are able to wear masks, but it doesn't matter because they're still gonna, if someone has it and they play in an NBA game, everyone they play with is gonna have it. When they go to the bench and into the locker room, you think they wear masks when they're in the locker room? Be honest with me.
No, and the protocols of it is fine, but it's like the optics don't even work. The optics would work now if the players were wearing masks while they were playing. Like that's not realistic, but say that were happening, yeah, if that's for optics and that works. But people that are either anti-maskers like Caleb or other
Oh my God, I'm not, stop it. Take that out.
I'm kidding. Or other people that just think that masks are ineffective or think that the NBA is all doing this for show. You're proving them right. Because why? Because you're saying that, hey, we only need to wear a mask when we're on the bench, but then when we play, it's perfectly fine. People that either are already in disbelief or whatever are going to be like, well, then how come they can go out there and play without them? That makes no sense. So I agree with you. I'm going to buy as well. I think these COVID protocols are becoming a little extreme. It's starting to feel like jail, and I feel bad for these players. Yeah, we're going to hear about all these, old men that are saying, whoa, they get paid $30 million to go out. I would get paid $30 million to live their jail. And it's like, well, sure, but you're not good at anything. That's why you say that. So these players that are actually talented have to sit here and they can't see their families. They can only see a certain amount of people, and those people have to be cleared. It's very difficult. I feel bad for the players that they're pretty much just, like this is not a normal road trip, Caleb, when players go on road trips where they all go out to the clubs and they do whatever they want. They're stuck in their hotel rooms and they're traveling. And that, I'm sure that gets tiring and lonely. So it can't be fun. I think the NBA is taking it a little bit extreme, but I get it. Look at football, man. Football is having, you just mentioned it earlier. The Browns don't have their head coach. The NBA announced last week that they had 0 cases. No players are really getting it. It's just staff. But at the same time, it is getting a little extreme, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, Caleb.